Hi, I'm Dawn Brown, the host of the fabulous new YouTube show, Chapter 3 with Dawn B, Clarity for Everyday Life. We told you it was coming, and here it is. Hi, and welcome to Chapter 3 with Dawn B. I'm your host, Dawn Brown, and I'd also like to welcome you to a special Big Sis toast to me. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my absolutely wonderful big sister, Jill Foster. She is the founder and owner of Beauty Behold Makeup Artistry. She's also an author, and the list goes on and on. Without further ado, here she is, my big sis, Jill Foster.
Hi, thank you for having me on your show, Dawn. I'm so excited to be here. And when I learned that you were having the show or you launched the show, and after I saw the first episode, I was like, I have to post my little sis. But just for the viewing audience, I want you guys to get to know a little bit about my little sis. She is not little by far. She's only little because she was born into this earth after me and our other two sisters. So she is the baby of four daughters that my mother gave birth to, but she's not little by far. She holds her ground. Cousins used to pick on her, so she had gotten that vibrancy at a young age to stand up for herself, and speak her mind, and she'll literally rip a hole in someone. I just want to let y'all know that, okay? So while I may preference her as my little sister, she's not little by far. I am here to toast her, so you got your glass, honey bun?
I got my glass.
Okay.
I just want to point y'all this is we have this apple martini thing. This is a proper apple martini. You must have your maraschino
cherry.
Okay.
Look, I wasn't gonna be able to finish all those cherries, so I was those cherryless. Okay, but trust me, the Kettle One is in there. All right.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
Okay, so toast to you, Sissy.
Thank you, Sissy. Clink,
clink.
clink.
New platform, which is entitled Chapter 3 with Dawn B.
Clarity for Everyday Life.
Yes, and with that being said, I'm going to just pivot right on over to her to explain to you all what this show is all about. Take it away.
Really quickly, I will tell you that Chapter 3 is for me. Chapter 1 was getting married and raising my family. Chapter 2 was getting remarried, my last marriage, and blending our families together. Now, we're 10 years in, and Chapter 3 is for me to start walking in my purpose and doing what I know the Lord has called me to do. Right. So I decided to start Chapter 3 with Dawn B, Clarity for Everyday Life, just to give Christian women, age 40 and above, a safe space to come and talk about the everyday things that they go through in life. Right. Many times we think that we have to be a certain way as women of God. We have to make everything just so. We have to be we have to say everything just so. We have to be so poised and proper. But we know that that's not always the case, because we live in the real world where our men are being shot down and hunted in the street, where we fear for our children going into the street every day, worrying about whether they're going home. We're in the age of COVID. We have all of this, jobs are being lost, stress, we're worried about whether our voting rights are going to be respected. So I don't know about you, but those are the types of things, I'm not warm and fuzzy when I think about those things. And most of the people that I know in my church, we have a couple of good, sweet souls who are just naturally kind and gentle. And then you have me. I'm a bit of a hard knot. I'm wound a little tight. If you keep me going, if you know how to deal with me, and if you have patience with me, I'll loosen the knot a little bit, but not too much. Because this is who I am. I don't want to walk in my first lady, who's very generous and kind and sweet and gentle. I don't want to walk in her shoes. God gave her a path to walk, and he gave me a path to walk. I would always ask myself, God, you gave me this big old mouth and this big old personality. I'm a bold spirit. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. What you want me to do with it?
That's right. That's right. And just to add to that, I want to add that, I was excited when you started this platform, because it goes right into who you are at the core. And when I tell you guys that my sister, I mentioned that she'll rip a hole in somebody. She has a great perspective on things, She will keep it real, good, bad, or indifferent. She is going to keep it real. So, I was just thrilled to death that she jumped into doing this thing, because, this is something that she's never done before. And I just want to ask you to explain to the viewing audience why you decided to even go down this route.
I decided to go down this route because I realized that it was absolutely necessary for me to leave corporate America, or quite frankly, I was going to end up in an orange jumpsuit. I felt like I made a career change, and when I made the change, I found out that it all comes down to pay. I accepted a job at my salary floor, the least amount that I would work for. And when I finally started the job, they had changed so many different parameters from what went on and what they told me it would be. And I finally said, enough. If I'm going to grind for this little bit of money, it's not going to be to put or to increase the coffers of an already filthy rich white male middle-aged millionaire. I will grind for those coins, and I'll put them into my coffers, and I will create a legacy, a financial legacy for my children and my children's children, so on and so forth. So that is where I am now. I'm my own boss, and I love it.
Yeah, I know you do. And I'm so proud of you for doing it. And just to add a little bit of humor to all of this, you sharing that just gives everyone a perspective of how advantageous you are with being who you are.
Exactly.
Jumping out there and having your own business. But I do want to, I'm your sister, so I do want to share some family.
You want to spill some tea?
Yes, I want to spill some tea. But before I do it, I'm going to go down the route of, I said that good, bad, or indifferent. You will rip a hole in somebody, or you tell it like it is.
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better, y'all. I'm trying to be better.
There was an incident, and I'm gonna pull out your memory on this one.
Okay.
It was an incident that occurred, and I'll just use the word sailor in your sailor days, when Simone, disclaimer here. You were
Look, I ain't had nothing to do with it, girl.
Okay.
I ain't had nothing to do with it.
You were a little girl when this happened, and just for the viewing audience, my niece got it going on. What happened with her when she was a little girl?
It's my fault.
No, it was really her mama's fault. But anyway, can you just share that story about your sailor moment in your mouth? Because you already mentioned you had a big mouth. So share that story.
Okay, so we overcome by the word of our testimony. So I'm just going to give y'all a little bit of testimony. Okay, so back in the day, I had a really colorful language, and I couldn't, if I said 3 words, 2 of them were curse words.
Yeah.
So I got away with it with my older daughter because she never picked it up. But when it came around to my youngest daughter, there were clues, and her dad would say, you got to stop swearing in front of these kids like that. And I said, listen, I use it. I'm either going to swear or I'm going to spank. I said, so you can ask them which one they want.
Right.
I said, but it's one or the other. There's no middle ground. I do it to release tension. So one day, one Thanksgiving day, we're at the dinner table of my very, very pious Christian mother-in-law, and the uncle. He's the youngest uncle, and he's the one that antagonizes all the little girls with all the pretty long curls. So he's sitting next to Simone at the dining room table, and he's yank, and she's yank. Leave me alone, yank. That third time was the charm, because she turned around, she looked at him like this. God damn it, James! Didn't I tell you to stop pulling my hair? You fucking asshole. Oh my God. So we at the Thanksgiving table, right?
How old was she then?
She was like 2.5. She was between 2 and, because she had just turned 2.
From the mouths of the baby, from the baby.
So we're at the dining room table, and all the family is looking at her like, my poor mother-in-law was looking, she was clutching her pearl. And their dad was looking at me like this. And I said, oh, right. So that was how I reformed myself.
Yeah.
You get Simone in the right mood. You know whose daughter she is. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it alone. The other one, too. She didn't pick it up until she was older, but but that's a story that we like to tell, because if you see Simone now, she's so poised, and you would never expect it, but she is her mama's daughter. Watch out.
And God works in mysterious ways, so that's why I'm glad about your show, because you will keep it real, and being a pastor's wife, you will show the real side of what we all go through, regardless of being a pastor's wife or not. You don't have to be that poised person. And that's my sister. But with the show, I know that you're going to bring some heavy-hitting topics into play. So can you just speak about a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. I'm going to be doing a couple of topics that come off the top of my head. See, I'm going to do some stuff about the dynamic between the sister relationship, especially in our community, the Black community. We know what it means to have sisters, right? But you and our journey was, we had a lot of transients in our childhood. And I just want to talk about the dynamic of there's something about the sister bond that's unbreakable. That's no matter what you go through, because in high school, look, don't mess with my sisters.
I know. I think we all kicked a few behind.
Oh yeah. So I want to talk about the specialness of the sister bond, in particular, Black sister bond, because there's something there that doesn't exist, at least as far as I am concerned, any place else, because nobody else goes through what the Black woman goes through.
That's right.
So that's very important. And then along the same lines, I want to talk about dads who weren't in the home.
Yes.
And we know now, especially what we're going through, how it was systematic that the white man in power wanted to cut off the head of the African American home, of the Black family, separate us, so that we would just be left out there flailing. Because if you take our protector and our provider away, you make us step into a role that really wasn't meant for us. We're playing 2 roles. So I want to talk about the effects of that, what happens when you miss that, and how to overcome the lack, because there is a lack. I didn't realize it, even in myself.
Right.
But in retrospect, after my dad passed, I realized that I wished when he called me and asked me for a chance to reconcile before he passed on, I had taken it. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about those things that are germane to our culture, and then I'll talk about those things that are just germane to everybody. You know, what's going on now with COVID and divorce, in the divorce rate in COVID. How if you might love them, but do you like them?
Right.
Because love is easy. It's easy to fall in love, but do you like that person?
Right. But it's
because I'm never going to be married to somebody that makes me go white hot.
Right.
Because white hot for me equals orange jumpsuit. So we ain't
Yeah. So even in speaking about being married, that's a good segue into my just letting the viewing audience know that my sister is married to a wonderful man. And as we've mentioned briefly that she is a pastor's wife, her husband is a pastor. And his name is Maurice Brown. And when I tell you, he loves the ground she walks on. Seriously, it is no joke. I'm not much to build stuff up, but he loves the ground that she walks on. So with that, I want to ask you, how has Maurice been supportive of what you're doing? How has he been involved in this?
Maurice is amazing. And my tagline that when anybody asks me about my husband is, that man lives to make me happy. And he does. I take a second seat only to the triune God. That's it. Right. Loving him is very liberating.
Yeah.
Because he's 16 years older than me. So we're talking about a dude that comes from a couple generations back, where his generation and his parents' generation all worked for the same company their entire career. He started out in the Army, he retired from the Army, and then he went to work for the federal government, and he worked there for like 4 decades. So he's used to paycheck, you know, that steady paycheck. And when we married, he knows me. I like to earn my paper too. So I'm used to a steady paycheck, but I come from that generation that's willing to step out and do something new.
Yeah.
And I told this dude, listen, I got to do this. He was like, you go do you, baby. That's why I worked so hard. That's why I've worked so hard, because he's retired now. I worked this hard. You ain't got to be out there working. You go do what you need to do. And
how did you meet him? How did you meet Maurice?
I met Maurice on eHarmony. This is low key. She trying to let y'all know that she encouraged me to do it. But I did, and it was love at first sight. I fell in love on our first date, and so did he.
Yeah, and I was shocked at the whirlwind that took place. I was like, what?
I know. And we forgot about that, right? Because I forget because we're 10 years in. But I met him in, I'm just trying to think. I met him late June, early July, and we were married early November. Same year. So it was like 5 months. And cracked me because you and the daughters, well, my daughters knew, but you and the nieces and the sister were like, what? Because I texted you a picture of my ring with the caption, guess what?
And the next message I got, you were married. I was like, what in the world? But anyway, it was a whirlwind, but it was well worth it.
It was.
And I just want to add that you met him on eHarmony. And yes, I was very encouraging because I met my husband, Stan, on Match.com. And while I just want to take a quick moment to tell women out there that, you know, a lot of women have this fallacy or this impression that meeting a person online is a scary thing, and it's not. It's actually better than meeting somebody in a club, because when somebody in the club buy you a drink, they're gonna be wanting to follow you on the dance floor, follow you back to your car, become a headache.
Be like,
on social media platforms, you know, while you get their messages through your email, they don't have your email address on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually safer. But, you know, we've had great conversation, and it's coming to an end. So I'm hoping that we are able to do this again, that you'll invite me back.
Absolutely. You have an open invitation. I'm looking very forward to collaborating with you in the future.
Okay.
I have some exciting content that I'm looking to create, and it can all be a family affair. You know that.
Yes.
You know that. We're going to support each other here.
That's right. And
right.
So we're going to do a final toast. Dawn, my little sis, who is bigger than life itself.
She trying to tell y'all I got a big mouth. That's what she's saying is bigger than life itself.
I want to say thank you for inviting me. This is a toast.
Thank you for coming. I had such a good time. Let me say real quick, this is another way for you to get together with your peeps during the quarantine.
Yes.
The Zoom is wonderful. I love it. And you can have a little happy hour and you ain't got to worry about driving. We good.
That's right. That's look. And we used to do this out in restaurants, but that's okay.
Exactly, right? You remember how we used to do.
Yes. Okay, well, until the next time, toast, clink, clink.
Clink, clink. I love you, sissy.
I love you too.
Thank you so much. I just have one thing to say, and then you can just click me right off. Okay. You're probably going to want to hang up anyway. You ready?
Yep.
I'm going to steal your daughter.
Okay. I'll tell you one other tip.
Okay.
Get Duo. Download Duo so that you can see her face whenever you want. Okay?
Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too. Mwah. Bye-bye.